Hello, and welcome to my mechanic showcase video. So we're going to hop right in. My first mechanic that I want to show is the crowbar slash pickaxe mechanic. So with the crowbar active, I can right click to hit. If I hit a vent door, it breaks the vent door, like so. And the pickaxe is pretty much the same thing, which is why I'm showing both of them. I can swap between items after picking up the pickaxe with 1 and 2. 1 is crowbar, 2 is pickaxe, and then when the pickaxe used, I can actually break gold. Now with the pickaxe, I can't break the vents, and with the crowbar, I can't break the gold. So I need the pickaxe to break these. So we can hop into the blueprints from here. So I'll first show the animations. We have crowbar idle animations, which kind of bobs up and down, and then the use animations, which rotates the relative position of the crowbar. And the pickaxe is pretty much the exact same thing, just different values for the rotations. And then the use animation is based off of when I actually left click to use it. So use is left click, and it leads into this function here. The function has a switch on current item, which current item sets a crowbar because that's the item I start with. So I switch which item I'm using. If I'm using a crowbar or pickaxe, it'll do either of these ones. These are kind of the same, so I'll show them kind of simultaneously. So the crowbar, it checks if the crowbar or pickaxe is ready. This is kind of just to keep the player from using it like over and over really quick, or like spamming the action. Same thing with this. Works with the whether it's ready or not. This just plays the grunting sound when I use it, and then it traces, does a line trace, and it checks if I hit something. If I hit something that was breakable, implements the breakable interface, then it'll play the animation here, the use animation, and then if it hits a breakable interface, then I actually break it. If not, then it just prints not breakable. But if it does, then I'll break either the vent door, or if I'm using the pickaxe, I'll break the rock, and then the rock sets to rock's mind equals +1, and then it checks if I remind all the rocks in the level. This is kind of just for the achievements. This sets if I mind all the rocks in the level, and then this is if I mind the first rock. But then the vent, when I break the vent, for example, plays the sound, simulates physics, and it adds an impulse to kind of move the vent out of the way. And the rocks kind of just have a 3-hit life pool. So if hits taken equals hits needed to break over here after I hit it, then it'll break the rock, and it sets mineable rock. It sets the breakable to mineable rock over here. So that way, when it gets to here, it checks if mineable rock is broken, so it actually increases rock's mind. So the next thing I want to show is the camera. We'll fly up here real quick. So the camera, right click to bring up the camera, left click to take a picture. Pretty simple. So I'll show the camera HUD. A few rectangles to set up the camera HUD. It has the amount of evidence up here in the top left. This just kind of binds to the amount of evidence that the player has. And then the flash is just a animation. It's a white square in the background. It sets the opacity to 1 and then back to 0 really quick, and a kind of 0.1 second quick. That's it. That's pretty much how that's set up. And then over here, when I right click, it brings up the camera, activates it, and then it sets current item to camera, and it sets the visibility of the widget to true. And when I let go, it kind of just brings it back to the item I was holding before. So over here, when I right click, brings up the camera. Then when I left click and use the item again, it'll check current item as camera, and then it'll ask if the camera's ready. This is also another check to make sure that I can't spam the camera. This is for the sounds. This plays the camera taking picture animation off the widget. Another check for the camera is ready. This is the cooldown for the camera, just a simple delay, and then sets the cameras ready to true again after the cooldown's done. The trace checks if the object that hits is an evidence, implements the evidence interface. If it does, then I increase the evidence obtained by 1, and then it checks if all the evidence was obtained, which is my main objective in the level. Then it sets main objective to true. And that's pretty much it for the camera. Then the next one I want to show is the keypad. So the keypad, when I get close to it, I can press E to interact. I have to actually look at it. So when I press E, I can interact, and I can put in numbers. At 4 numbers, it caps. I can't put any more, but I can go back with this red button. And then if I put the wrong number, it kind of beeps a couple times, but if I put the right number, it'll beep once, and it'll turn green. And now I can enter the doors that weren't enterable before. As you can see, I have the keypad here. Can't enter them. Put the right code, and they open. So with the keypad, I have the widget here. So this widget is just made of a couple buttons for these, which I can press. It kind of brings up the mouse to be able to press the buttons. The text up here kind of just shows the numbers that you pressed. Each button sets a number to add, and then it adds a number here. This just kind of adds a number to the end, plays the beeping sound. The delete button deletes the rightmost number, plays the beeping sound as well. And then when you press enter, it exits the keypad, and it sets the input back to 0, so that when you go back in, it's empty. And then this also checks if the access code was the correct code, which is set up over here. So when you enter the keypad, it kind of shows the keypad and then sets the code. So if it was the correct code, then when you close it, it'll play either the wrong or correct sound, and it'll unlock the doors that the code was used for. So as you can see here, this gets all actors of the doors, and then all of the doors that used that code, if they were true, then it sets the correct code. And then here are the door blueprints. If the correct code is true, then this is the keypad. If the correct code is true, then it sets keypad material to green. As you can see, the highlight, the green glowing color there. And then it also unlocks the doors that it was used for. So if I compare the keypad, I have the access code here, and then I set up the doors the same way. Access code, so the same code unlocks the same door. So that's pretty much it for the keypads. The last one I want to show here is the notes. So you can walk up to the notes and press E, and it shows a text on it. So for example, I can go to another one, and like this one down here will have different text on it. So the way these work is the notes themselves have the text on it. I have text here, or for example, I have text over here. Text is different, and then when you open the note, it sets the text to the note content, which is the note content that I set up here. So for example, I can open the note here, and then it'll set the content equal to the content that I put in. And yep, that's pretty much it for my mechanic showcase. Thank you for watching.